So you get out of rehab and now you need to make money legitimately. You have to pay the bills and so on. And you saw a flyer, a casting call flyer for Jersey Shore. Is that your first?
Yeah, you know what? As soon as I got out of rehab, I really wanted to get back with my ex-girlfriend who we just flashed on the screen. She was like the love of my life and she inspired me. And I really didn't want her to be the one that got away. And she started to continue her schooling. She went to fashion school, and it kind of sparked me to go for my dreams. And so I started to send photos into New York City at the top fitness and underwear modeling agencies because I was just in really, really good shape. And then eventually, I eventually was signed to a fitness and underwear agency. And then I saw that flyer that you just spoke of.
And what did the flyer say? Like, do you remember what it was advertising that spoke to you?
It said the hottest Guidos and Guidettes in the tri-state area come to Harrah's in Atlantic City. Yes. And it was a casting call.
I love this. This is amazing. So you go, and was it a collection of the hottest Guidos and Guidettes in Jersey?
Oh, for sure. Everybody in that venue at Harrah's, Atlantic City, were the hottest Guidos and Guidettes in the area. Everybody had a six-pack. All the girls were good looking. All the guys were good looking. And I had just come off a high from getting signed from a fitness and underwear agency. And I was really excited that maybe I was on the right track in life and I wasn't drug dealing and stripping anymore.
Right. So I assume you had to be interviewed. How did that go?
I was interviewed and they loved me at the time. This was 2008. And it was supposed to be a VH1 show. Viacom owns MTV and VH1, but at first VH1 had it. I was definitely told that I was the number one pick, the first guy casted, and they wanted to shoot what's called a sizzle tape, which is almost like a little preview of the idea for the show that they wanted to do.
Okay, so you wind up getting cast, and then you get together with the other cast mates, all of whom would go on to become literally household names. Again, Snooki is the former House Speaker's screensaver. Do you know how many famous people and world leaders he has met? And she is the screensaver. I mean, it tells you everything you need to know about the success of this show. So we have a clip from, I think this is from the first episode, when the cast first arrives in Seaside Heights, New Jersey, and meets for the first time. Here's a bit of that.
Somebody in there?
Hello, party's here.
The party's here?
How are you? Nicole, hug.
Nice to meet you,
How are
baby.
you?
I'm like, wow. She was like a little miniature chihuahua painted with some spray paint black. Yeah.
You guys drinking or what?
Yeah, we just it's right here.
Woo! Give me a shot.
Honestly, bro, it doesn't get any better than this. Unless we had a stripper pole, like, right in the middle of the room.
Don't bring home any wanksters, girls. Yeah.
Don't bring home any
Listen, that's all there is in Jersey.
So what was that? What did you make of your fellow castmates?
I was on, such a high because it had taken a year to sell that show and I was a part of it from the conception. So I went in thinking I had all this confidence, but when I got there, it was an amazing experience, and I wanted to make the most of it. I never thought that, that 15 minutes of fame would turn into 15 years. But I remember leaving that show or the last day of filming. And I was like, once America sees this, I really feel that this is going to change things. And sure enough, once the show aired, it was like lightning in a bottle, record ratings. A year later, they would give us like $1 million raise, the first kids to really get that type of money. And we were like, changing the culture.
How so? How do you think you changed the culture?
I mean, it was everywhere. I mean, we were on every channel, all the newses. I mean, every radio station, everybody was talking about Jersey Shore. We were getting 9 million. 9 million was the ratings that we were getting, which is like Game of Thrones numbers. and
huge.
nobody had ever done that before. I was the GQ Man of the Year or the Sensation of the Year, which is one of they pick many people. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them, but in 2010. So we were breaking the mold because in the beginning, nobody wanted to think of reality stars as anything other than, something that they didn't want to watch.
What was it, do you think, about Jersey Shore that people found so compelling, so must see?
I think that it was just so raw and just so unfiltered. Everybody, including myself, was, their authentic selves.
And then all of a sudden it's like hair pulling match.
What'd you say?
And it was, a once in a generation type of show. Even to this day, all the high school kids every year, they go back and they watch the first Jersey Shore franchise. And they all dress up as Snooki in the situation for Halloween. It's really extremely flattering. It's wild.
Now, did you get along with the other castmates?
The first one I wasn't really using. So yeah, the first one to a certain extent, I did get along. At the end of the day, if you're in a house with, 8 people, life's going to happen on life's terms, and you're not always going to get along with everyone, but that's what makes good TV though.
So then there comes a time, then you did start using again. And there comes a time in the series where you went over to Italy for one of the seasons, and you had a problem because you were a drug addict and you couldn't exactly pack all your drugs in a suitcase and do the carry-on. So what did you do?
Every season, including starting in season 2 to Miami to all the way to season 5 to Italy, was literally like Mission Impossible, trying to sneak the drugs into different states, different countries, past security, past TSA. It was insanity. And if we're speaking about Italy, I had to think long and hard how I was going to get by that one because, we're traveling across the world here. So I thought to myself that some of the other ways that I had used in previous other seasons were not going to work. So I tried a different method traveling to Italy. I disassembled my shoe, and I put 2 Altoid cases in each shoe. Each shoe had 200 pills. So obviously one pair of shoe would have 400 Rocassettes. If you know what a Rocassette is, it is a 30 milligram oxycodone, which technically is 3 Percocet 10s. It's a very powerful, painkiller. And I put that pair of shoes along with 20 other shoes in a suitcase so that it would be hard to distinguish that I was actually smuggling upwards of 400 oxycodone pills in a pair of shoes across country lines. And then once I got over to Italy and I got past, I guess, maybe TSA or maybe past immigration, then I had to get past the producers and security protocols of MTV. And they were gunning for me since season 2, and rightfully so. I was rarely doing the right thing. And once MTV started to frisk and go through all of my belongings, which they had a protocol, that's when they finally got to maybe my 7th suitcase, which they were already fatigued. And then I said, oh, those are my favorite shoes right there. The black Fila's, let me grab those and put those on now. So then I would take them out of the equation. And that's how that's how that caper was.
Oh my gosh. Were you sweating it out?
I'm sure I was stressed. But you're looking at somebody who is doing these type of risky behaviors year after year, season after season. I'm getting paid millions on the number one show or the number one reality show in the country. So it's almost like I kept getting away with it. Obviously, we kind of know where the story progresses. Eventually, Uncle Sam would be the one to straighten me out, but it would take a few years before we got there.
Let me tell you a story about a guy named Leo Grillo. Leo was on a road trip and came across a Doberman. This dog was severely underweight and clearly in trouble. Well, Leo rescued the dog and named him Delta. Sadly, Delta was just one of many animals that needs help, and this inspired Leo to start Delta Rescue, the largest no-kill, care for life animal sanctuary in the world. They have rescued thousands of dogs, cats, and horses from the wilderness, and they provide their animals with shelter, love, safety, a home. Their dedication and everlasting love to animals winds up being Leo's mission and his legacy. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions to stay available and open. And if you want to care for these animals and you want that to be part of your legacy, speak with your estate planner, because these are tax-saving estate planning's benefits too. You can also get those. You can grow your estate while letting your love for animals live well into the future. Check out the estate planning tab on their website if you want to learn more and speak with your advisor. We call a dog a man's best friend for a reason. You can help those who need it most. Visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.